on the wall with the upbeat guy, and then you see these other two guys walking by, and both of them look like they're having a pretty bad day. And so we get to choose. That's what we're going to talk about today, this idea that we get to choose. We have the freedom and the power to make a decision about how we experience our life. And you know, really, that is one of the key things that we teach in our way of thinking. Our thoughts are things, our thoughts manifest into the life that we're living, and so if we're choosing things in the way of our thoughts that are not supporting our core values or supporting what we'd hope to see manifesting in our lives, we're going to get whatever we're thinking about. So if we're thinking angry, resentful, unforgiving, you know, fearful thoughts, that's what we get. And so this idea that, you know, we're all free, you know, even in the midst of all the stuff that you saw in that opening video, within all of that, there's some great hope. There's some great courage. There's some great possibility. There's some upsets that could become setups for what comes next. And I think if you see, you know, the way some of those things have played out over the years, it's the truth. It's the truth. It's what James is going to be talking about next week when he talks about the horrors of World War II and the Holocaust. Within everything there is this glimmer of possibility, as long as we're willing to choose to see it, to choose to go that direction, the sunny side. And I'm not talking about a Pollyanna rose, you know, rose-colored glasses, sort of la la la. I'm talking about a deep appreciation for all of it. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. This idea that we all have core values. Most of us have similar core values in certain areas around love and compassion, things like that. But we all have different walks in the world. We all have different paths. And so many of us are going to have some unique core values that are instrumental in moving our lives forward. And when we have the capacity to focus our ideas and our energy and our choices on our core values, the things that really matter to us, the things that make a difference to us, then when we step into that, we realize this freedom of, I guess it's a freedom of mind, this peace of mind that allows us to actually love the life we're living. No matter what's going on out there, no matter what the circumstances are. I love what Robert Holden says. The circumstances color life. We get to decide what color it is. We get to decide how that's going to look. This incredible freedom to choose is a power that is so deep within every single one of us, and it is so vital. And sometimes we don't think we can choose. Sometimes we get so collapsed in our life experience that choosing to see things in a brighter way is very, very difficult. I'm going to talk about that. But this is what I can tell you. We are at a choice point every single moment. It's not that we make a choice then and it's going to be our choice today. Maybe we'll make a different choice today. It's not our choice that we make now and then that's going to be the choice we make forever. We're going to make a new choice when the circumstances change. So we get to choose. Like right now, if you've got something that's heavy on your mind, that's getting in your way of your peace, that's stopping you from loving the life that you're living, the truth is, right now, in this moment, you have the power to choose to see it in a different way. To choose to see it in a more neutral way. A more neutral way. I like that idea. No matter what's going on, that's why I picked this image of the lady in the swing in a bird cage. See, the cage is there, but the door's open and she's swinging. She's having fun. No matter what's going on, we have choices about how to be with it. There's no more powerful act in our life experience as human beings than making choices. Making a choice is the most important thing we can do. If we choose love, if we choose hate, if we choose inclusion, if we choose exclusion, if we choose forgiveness, if we choose not to forgive, guess what? That's going to make a whole lot of difference in how our day shows up and the way we feel about our life experience. And this is the other thing. Every single one of us, when we make these choices, whatever they are, we have an awesome responsibility to deal with the consequences of whatever choice we make. We get consequences. You know, those of you who are deep into metaphysics know cause and effect, the law of attraction. Every choice we make has a reaction, a response. It works that way. Choices have results. So if you don't like the results you're getting in your life, guess what? I invite you to take a look at the choices you're making. I invite you to look at that. Be mindful of the choices. Because guess what? When we choose how to be with our life experience, we get to choose from a whole bunch of response possibilities, don't we? We get to choose from a whole smorgasbord, a buffet of responses. So we've got to place our attention when we decide how to be with our life experience. We need to make sure that we're placing our attention on those choices that are bringing us joy, that are bringing us this sense of peace, this sense of love, this sense of whatever is part of your core value. Pay attention to how your choices are showing up, so that when we make these choices, we're in harmony with our life experience. We love the life we're living. Now, when I say that, I need to qualify that, because you may not love the circumstances. You may not love the situation. But there is the possibility to have peace of mind and a sense of well-being within whatever's going on. James will talk about that. I think Glenda's going to talk about that when she talks about Viktor Frankl. This idea that no matter what the circumstances are, we get to choose how we be, how we are with it, you see. We get to choose. And when we choose to be present with our experiences in a way that brings forth these core values that we cherish, these values that are aligned with our divinity, these values of love and compassion, non-judgment, guess what? Not only our world becomes harmonious, but everything around us becomes harmonious. The world becomes a little kinder, celebrates a little bit of kindness. The world becomes a little softer. And guess what? It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to open up to the sweet stuff of life, the delight of life, when you're right in the middle of the icky stuff. It takes a lot of courage to open to something different than whatever the icky stuff is that might be presenting itself. I know you've got icky stuff. I got icky stuff in my life going on. Yes, we've all got it. We've got things that are not working real well. Maybe they're relationships, maybe they're our bodies, maybe they're our finances, maybe they're our work situation. Whatever it is, we've all got icky things, and it's very difficult to get that courage to express the love and the compassion and the delight for the sweet stuff of life. It's very, very hard to say yes to the basic goodness of life, to say yes to our divinity and to the divinity of all the players in whatever might be showing up icky for us. It's been my journey this week. It's been my journey this week. To say yes to the reality of the experience and accept it as it is, and know that within that there is this divine energy of the universe that's flowing through it, and I don't need to know how it's going to turn out. I just need to know that my job is to choose love, to choose compassion, to choose forgiveness, to choose to see the divinity in myself and others. That's my job. I love that song. Know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Know how to make the choices within the experience, for sure. And it requires us to recognize that life is full of paradoxes and dilemmas. And I love what one of the authors says. He says, we function best in a world of opposites as human beings. It gives us a sort of a set point. It makes a framework, and it informs the functioning of our mind, you see, as human beings in form. Ever know anybody that lived in a place where the sun didn't shine for weeks and weeks and weeks on end? Makes a difference to how you experience your life. We need the contrast. We need the darkness. We need the light. My sister lives in Idaho, and there are long periods of long darkness. She had to get one of those sunlight things to help balance her experience because there wasn't enough light. See, we live in these polarities as human beings in form. We have light, we've got dark, we've got day, we've got night, we've got all the opposites, and it gives us a framework. But there is this aspect of us that is beyond that, and that's our divinity that has the capacity to, I love this, to be free from the opposites, and that's a big, big challenge. So that we don't have to live in a this or that world, dark or light, night or day, good or bad, fat or thin, whatever your deal is, right? That we have the capacity as a divine being to experience both and, to hold all of it at the same time and see our life experience from many angles, to find that harmonizing point, to find that neutral place, to find the shades of gray. And I know when I was thinking about that, I'm going, is there a book by that name? To find the shades of gray in our life experience. I don't know, I don't think that kind. To harmonize the polarities, right? David, go to the next image for me. This is Goldilocks. See, Goldilocks' entire journey was about this. Remember, she went to the Three Bears' house. She started with the porridge. One was too hot, one was too cold, and what was she looking for? Just right. Just right. Just right. She does the same thing with the chair. One's too big, one's too small, and it breaks, and she's looking for just right. And that's our job. How do we step into just right in our life experience? Because we're always going to have the polarities, but we get to choose that neutral spot, that place of peace that's just right. That balance point in the Buddhist tradition is called equanimity. That place that's the middle path, the middle road. It doesn't have to be stretched to the extremes. That place of harmony that allows us to actually love the life we're living within the circumstances, whatever they are. To see beyond the hot and cold to the just right place. And this is what brings us a sense of freedom. This is what brings us that place of peace, that sense of well-being. You know, happiness, a lot of people don't like the word happiness because it's a little too foo-foo. But the truth is, happiness is nothing more than a sense of well-being. A sense of well-being, so that we can love the life that we're living. And what it requires is for us to examine the life we're living. For us, I love this terminology, to clean the inner house of our mind, to update and to set free all the stuff that's in the box, all the beliefs, all the ideas, all of the, you know, this, it has to look just like this, the shoulds, the oughts, all that stuff, so that we get rid of that. We get, you know, we clean it up. We transform it. We recognize it and we go, you know what, that's not working for me anymore. I would like to set that part of me free. I want to update my way of being in the world. I want to update the way I see my life. I want to choose to reclaim my inner light so that I can live my life in freedom, in peace, in harmony, in compassion, in love. I love the terminology. Undo the story of the ego. Undo the story of the ego. It drives so many of us. Let go of all the fears we've learned over our lifetime. Let go of all the beliefs we've trained ourselves or someone else has trained us. You know, our families, our institutions, our religions, our schools. We've been trained to believe certain things depending on our culture. We've been domesticated. We've been trained to believe things. And we have a hard time letting that go sometimes. You know, this idea of this version of I'm the one who, and I love the list that our authors give us. I'm the one who's been wronged. I'm the one who didn't get enough love. I'm the one who grew up poor. I'm the one who was once abused. I'm the one who's always unlucky. I'm the one who's unpopular. I'm the one who's a slow learner. Identify with any of that? I'm the one who, used to have a person in our community many years ago who literally identified as I'm the one with the brain injury. It's that you clean it up, clean the inner house of your mind. Because unless we can clean up our ego story, we're going to always be sucked into the not sunny side of the street. And this is the deal. Nothing in your life can happen without your permission. Nothing in your life happens without your decision. Now, circumstances go on around you, but the way you experience them is your decision. Nothing can take, well, they had an experience in our other spiritual community. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. Nothing can disturb the calm peace of my soul. That's what we're looking for here. We get to choose that idea of a television or a radio. We get to choose which channel we tune into in our experience of life. Stuff's going to happen. Stuff will always happen. It's the human condition. But we get to decide, okay, do I tune into the victim channel here, or do I choose to be free? Do I get to choose the channel that's all about resentment, holding a grudge, or do I get to choose the channel that's about forgiveness and allowing and acceptance? Because this is the deal, no matter what's going on in your life, all the circumstances, how you are with it, whatever's happening in your life, you get to decide. You get to decide how you experience it. And it takes practice. It takes practice. But it starts with awareness of how are you making your decisions? What are you choosing right now? Because I love what this author, Dan Millman, says. He says, there's no such thing as a future decision. I'm going to decide to be loving later. I'm going to decide to be compassionate later. Someday I'm going to decide to whatever. Doesn't work that way. Our decisions are right now. Whatever's going on, the decision we make on how we are with it, if we decide to be angry with someone, I had an experience in the last week or so in my family, and it wasn't a good one, and I had to decide, how am I going to be with this? And my decision was to say, how about a truce? And get a big hug. See, we get to decide how to be with these things. And this is what this author says. I love what he says, The Four Purposes of Life. Dan Millman, he's the guy that wrote The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. All choices, all decisions are made in the moment, for the moment. Hear that? For the moment you're in. Trying to make a permanent decision is like trying to eat once and for all. Waves keep rolling in and circumstances change. Each new moment is fresh. Want to know what you've decided, what your choices have been? Look at your life. Observe what you do. So here's your invitation. Be real aware of what matters to you. What do you cherish? Where are your core values and what's important to you? And then ask yourself, am I making choices that support that? Are the choices that I'm making right now in this moment supporting those core values, what matters to me? Am I making the choices in my life that move me beyond getting stuck in the polarity of this or that, hot or cold, whatever it is, so that I can find that harmonizing place that's just right? Where can I find that just right place with whatever I'm going through? What are those places in my experience where I need to really pay attention so that I can undo my ego story? Move beyond whatever it is that's holding me back, allow it to, integrate into my personality, and choose to be peaceful with whatever that is. And this is the big question. What decision did you make this morning when you got up? What decision did you make this morning when you got out of bed? What sort of day did you decide to have? And if you didn't give it any thought, right now is the time to do that. If you did, then the next question is, how's that working for you? How's that working for you? Thanks for listening.